Oops, wrong book. Good morning. Today we are continuing working with those fractions. Po17, I can multiply fractions by fractions. We are getting close to the end of this unit. Next week we will be testing at the end of the week. So we have class today. Tomorrow is the last day of the week, so it will be a retake day. So we're treating it as a Friday, because even though it's a Tuesday, it's our Friday of the week. So tomorrow, remember, if you have retakes you want to do, you have to have those practice works turned in, so I can be correcting them. That Khan Academy is due tomorrow. Packet number 2 is due tomorrow, so tomorrow's a work day. Next week, we will do our last 2 objectives, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday will be a review day. So we're going to go over the whole unit, make sure our help sheets are right. We understand the need for help sheets now after that first test. So we're going to look at what we should put on help sheets. Thursday will be the practice test. Friday will be the real test. So for next week, objectives Monday, Tuesday, review Wednesday. Then it's a practice, real test on Friday. So we know we're almost done with this unit. Today, multiplying fractions by fractions. Good news, when multiplying fractions, you do not need a common denominator. Let's look at why that is. We know when adding and subtracting fractions, you need a common denominator. Multiplying, we don't. So let's take a peek at this as to why that is. All right, so if we have 1/2, remember that dot means multiply. We're not using the x anymore for multiplying because we're going to use that in our math problems as variables. So we're getting in the habit of just using the dot to symbolize multiplying. So 1/2 times 1/4. We're going to think of it using that word of. When we see of in word problems, it means we're multiplying. 1/2 of 1/4. It means we multiply them together. So 1/2 of 1/4. So let's cut our bar into fourths. So we have 4 sections. So cut your bar into 4 sections. So 1 section is 1/4. It's 1 out of 4, right? 1/4. We want 1/2 of it. So I'm going to take 1 section and I'm going to cut it in half. So that would be 1/2 of that 4th. Well, I need to find out how much that is of all of it. So it's 1/2 of 1/4. This is a 4th, this is a 4th, and this is a 4th, right? We've got 4 fourths. But if we're cutting them into, if we cut this one into half, what do we have to do to our other ones? Cut them in half. So if I have 1/2 of 1/4, how many pieces do I have? If this is what I get, 1/2 of that 1/4, how would I figure that out, Bridget? How many sections are there all together when I cut up those fourths into halves? How many sections do I have? I have 8. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my final answer is out of 8 sections. How many of those sections did I get? How many sections did I get out of 8? James? I get 1 section, right? So 1/2 of 1/4 is 1/8. Because we're breaking it down even smaller, right? 1/2 of the 4th, that's 1/4 of the whole section. let's look at what that looks like for our next one. 5/6 of 2/3. What do you think I want to break my bar into? How many sections? Nolan? 6. That's a great guess. We see the 6 on the bottom here, but actually we want to look at the second fraction because we start with 2/3 and we want 5/6 of them. So what do you think I should break it into if it's, yeah, into thirds? Because I have 2/3, which would be this part. So I have 2/3, and I want 5/6 of them. So what do you think I need to cut this section into? Bridget? I need to cut them into 6 sections. So I'm gonna look at this and say, okay, I need 6 sections all together. What did I actually cut my pieces into? Thirds. So I'm just gonna continue on here. Because I cut this section into thirds, this section into thirds, and this section into thirds. I want 5 out of the 6 are the ones that I want. I want 5/6. So give Aiden what I'm doing up there, I want you to do on your paper. Alyssa, what I'm doing up there, you do on the paper. 5 out of the 6, and I noticed that I cut each of these sections into thirds to make those 6 pieces. What do you think my final answer is going to be? How many sections do I have out of how many total? What's my final answer going to be? Emma? Careful, the ones I fill in is going to be the numerator.
I hope I did those right. Let me know.
What? So I have 5 altogether that are filled in, so 5 is my numerator out of how many altogether? Yeah, you said it backwards. We always have to put it going the right way. So 5 nights, because we filled in 5 out of 9 total. If I look at 5/6 of 2/3, 5/6 times 2/3, how do you think I got 5 nights? Because I know, as Gambino said, multiplying across, this is how we get there. But if I multiply across, I had 5 times 2 is 10, and 6 times 3 is 18. How is my final answer 5 nights? No? Because we simplified. So 5/6 times 2/3 is 10/18. I'm going to divide that 2 out. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So our picture shows it to us in that simplified form. Okay. Do we always want to have to make a bar? No. Our shortcut is just multiplying across, but remembering that we always have to simplify at the end. Sometimes it will be the simplest answer. Sometimes we have to do that simplifying. So let me scroll up. So if we look at our first one, 3/4 times 5/8. We don't need to make the bar. The bar was to make us understand why our fraction gets smaller, right? When we were doing 2/3 of sorry, 5/6 of 2/3, it actually got to be a smaller amount out of that bar. Because when we multiply fractions, it gets smaller. How should we solve 3/4 times 5/8? What should I do? What's my first step? I can make the bar, but if I don't want to make the bar, how do I multiply fractions together? What's that shortcut way? Emma? We're not going to cross multiply. We're just going to multiply straight across. So we multiply across when we come with these fractions. So what is 3 times 5? Sarah?
15,
What is 4 times 8?
32.
32. Can I get any simpler? Because remember, I'm not done until I check, can I simplify? So let's think about our factors of 15. 1, 3, 5, and 15. None of those can be divided out of 32. So this is as simple as I get. Now what Emma had talked about, she said, ooh, look to see if you can cross-simplify first. Sorry, cross-simplify. Now Mr. Robinson taught you about cross-simplifying last year, and some of us remember it, and some of us go, ooh, totally forgot how to do that. I'm going to show it to you if you want to simplify first, but you do not have to. It's easier for you to multiply across and then simplify, you can do that. But this is a refresher on cross-simplifying. If we are going to cross-simplify, we're going to see if diagonally there's anything I can divide out. So out of the 2 and the 6, I can divide out a 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I can't divide anything out of the 1 and the 7, so those stay the same. Now I'm going to multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 7 is 21. So my final answer would be 1 over 21. Now if I wanted to just multiply regular, I would have gotten 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 7 is 42. Can I simplify that? Is there something I can divide out of 2 and 42? Hudson's shaking his head. What can I simplify? I could divide a 2 out. They are both even numbers. 2 and 42 are even, so I can divide the 2 out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 42 divided by 2 is 21. I get the same answer. What happens if we don't cross-simplify is we end up with bigger numbers that we have to simplify. You're working with a 42 in there, that's a big number. If we cross-simplify first, we're simplifying the smaller fraction, so we end with a smaller fraction. You don't have to cross-simplify first. You can multiply across and then simplify, but you have to keep in mind it's going to sometimes be bigger numbers that we work with. Any questions on that? So we're going to straight up multiply across, simplify your final answer. If you want to, you can cross-simplify. That's simplifying diagonally and then multiply across. You can do whichever way works for you. On the bottom, we have word problems. Keep in mind that we are multiplying fractions. So our word problems are going to have to do with multiplying fractions. Sometimes when we have word problems, they make us do a second step. But we know we're going to start with multiplying fractions, and then we're going to see if our answer answers the question it's asking us. So your family orders a pizza and gives you half of it, which you split evenly with your pet cat. You are very generous to your pet. what fraction of the original pizza do you eat? So if you're given a half of the pizza, and then you share half with your pet, what fractions do you think we're going to be multiplying? Bridget? Lila? A half of a half, because you get a half, if you're giving half of your share to your cat, you get a half. And you had a half of the pizza to start with. So your final part that you get is a half of a half. You see how we got that? I'm not writing it down because I want you to think through what that's going to look like. Think about what fractions you're multiplying and what your final answer is. The last one, you inherit a large plot of land from your grandparents. Your mom gets a sixth of that original plot. So that original plot of land, what do you want to divide it into? 6, because your mom gets 1/6 of it. So this is mom's portion. What fraction of the little, oh, and then you get 1/8 of her share. So you get 1/8 of her 1/6. So you get 1/8 of this. So this is your share. 1/8 of the 1/6 that your mom got. So you can do the picture to figure it out, because sometimes with these word problems, we're not sure what to do. Or if you know the math, which fractions you're multiplying together, thinking about the words that I was saying, you get 1/8 of your mom's 1/6. What math are we doing? So it says, what fraction of the original plot of land do you own? That's the first question. Then it says, if the original plot is worth $96,000, how much is your plot worth? So you need to figure out what fraction you're getting, and you need to figure out how much money it's worth. If all together, that whole huge bar is worth $96,000, how much is your plot? So you're gonna try to work that out. Make sure you have 2 answers for that last one. How much are you getting of the land and how much money is it worth? If you are watching this video at home, I hope you are well. And I hope to see you soon. Please see me if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget to like and subscribe.